I remember even that very first improv teacher I had said something that always stuck with me. And she's like, what do you want to say?
Yeah.
Every time you get on stage, you have an opportunity to say something, to contribute something. What's the message you want to send? Not that it has to be proselytizing or, political.
So what's Mary Birdsong trying to say
as
a comedian?
That we're all freaks. You know what I mean? That like...
Right on, yeah.
That nobody is normal, and even if they are, like...
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I'm really interested in sort of delving into that freakish part of myself, of other people, and I feel like the more we can sort of own up to that, the more bonded we feel, the more part of everything we feel, and that's what interests me.
Sort of a more honest society too, right? Where you can be more comfortable in yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're all in some sort of mass sort of denial, because of what we see on TV as what our families are supposed to look like, or people talk about a dysfunctional family. I don't really know that there is such a thing. I think every family by nature is dysfunctional to a certain degree. And I remember too, Dustin Hoffman once saying something in an interview that really, I think, appealed to me, which is something I want to do, which he said that, and I'm paraphrasing, but that most people in life sort of run away from the hot seat, from hell. You know what I mean? They run away from it and they try and escape it, like whether it's through drinking or shopping or fucking or whoop, or whatever it is. They just don't want to be uncomfortable, and they don't want to talk about such and such or think about this because it makes me really anxious.
Yeah.
And I think an artist, or whatever kind of artist you are, it's like we have this nature of like we want to sit on the hot seat.
Yeah,
we want to face it and be like,
hard.
No, let's talk about this.
Yeah.
This is awkward.
Yeah.
And I think people are just more and more, as everything gets more like sort of isolated and disjointed, it's like we're hungry for something that's, we don't even necessarily know we are hungry for sometimes. And then we see it or we hear it in music or art and we go like, oh, no,
Yeah.
I forgot that I needed that.
Yeah.
So that's what, the kind of things I want to do. And I also think it's really important, and I didn't know this starting out, that people starting out should know the power of saying no. Like, just say no it can be interpreted, for your career.
To projects that you don't care about, you mean?
Projects that you don't care about, projects that you don't respect, projects that you're not really good at. And believe me, I'm all for, and I did, paying your dues and doing things that maybe they're a piece of crap, but they're going to give you a paycheck.
Right.
You know what I mean? And maybe somebody will see you in it, and yes, do them. Like, every opportunity you can to perform when you're starting out, do it. But I think once you reach a certain point, don't be afraid to say, like, no, thanks. Because I feel like I wasted a lot of time, like, thinking that those projects, because they had some money behind them or something, that I was supposed to want to do it.
Right.
And I remember at a certain point, like, looking at a lot of sitcom scripts and stuff and saying, that's not what got me excited when I was, like, little and watching Gilda Radner or Robin Williams or whoever. And, it's really, there's no word more powerful in Hollywood than the word no.
Right.
People get off on it. It's like, what do you mean no? Well, why'd you say no?
Suddenly now you're so much...
And it's not to say you should do it for that effect, because, if you're doing it for that effect, I guarantee you they won't respond that way. But I think it's just really like letting go of sort of the results of everything and just sort of saying, like, what turns you on?
Yeah.
No matter how weird it is, if you really commit to it, chances are there are a lot of other people out there
who want it too. Oh! Yeah, absolutely. And who want somebody to take the risk and,
Well, the movie is a feature film comedy called Kyle Bell versus the Devil, and it's written by a real good friend of mine named Matt Scott, who you're going to be hearing a lot about. And he told me he was working on a screenplay. Matt and I went to college together, and that he had a part in it he wanted me to play. And I was like, great, give it to me to read. And I did, and I thought it was really funny. And I LOL'd several times. So I just loved it. And one of the things that I really liked about it, it was both smart and accessible at the same time. It was dumb and smart at the same time, which is one of the things I really like about Reno 911.
Yeah.
That I literally have had like Harvard archaeologists, architects, and 14-year-old boys, who haven't left their room in a month. You know what I mean? Equally enthusiastic. And So it's really smart, really funny, and the great part about it is the character I would play in it, the mom, Sam Bell, she's wonderfully imperfect, and she's not like a super mom or a perfect sort of Stepford woman person. She has one night stands, and her house is a mess, and she screws up, and she has this sort of like lame cable show, and so it's like she gets to be sort of this this Wayne's World-esque sort of parent.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times, like we were saying before, that women don't necessarily get the opportunity to be the butt of the joke, as much as like the instigator of the joke. And so that's what I really love about it is the characters are really well developed and really great, and
it's up to you to make it happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
So,
okay, Mary, well, thank you so much for joining us at typicalgirls.net. We'll keep looking for you on Reno 911, and we will post up a bunch of your stuff that you've done on the site.
yes.
Thank you.